Hello, I'm Vera, General Manager here at Tabletop Library, and I'm here with Nabeel Hyatt tonight to talk about the Dewey Decimal System that you come up with for the Tabletop Library. Sorry. Can you walk us through what...
This ridiculous system that I came up with and why?
Yeah, the TLCS. What does it stand for, by the way? And how can it help someone who's new to gaming understand what's there and what they come to this bookshelf of 800 games? It's very overwhelming. So how do you help them navigate this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you're trying to solve for is we're going to have, the whole point is to have a whole bunch of games. And it's interesting, on the internet, we've solved this search problem in many ways. If you go to Amazon or anywhere else, you're just searching for a game, you're searching for a category. We have tag systems and all these different ways of organizing games. But if we're going to have hundreds of games inside of a physical space, the question is, how do you arrange it? And the choices are not great. The original thought process was, well, you put them in alphabetical order. And that's fine if you know exactly the game you want to play. But we want people to come in that have not even really been ever exposed to an incredible array of games that have been coming out over the last few years in particular. It's like a renaissance. And if I don't know the name of the game, then how do I figure it out? And for people who have really nerded out about games like you and me, we talk about categories of games, like, oh, do you want to play a worker placement game or whatever?
Or by designer, right?
Or by designer, or many other ways. But if you're just getting started and you've played maybe Ticket to Ride, then, what do you do and where do you find it? And so after a bunch of thought process and back and forth, we realized that there is a way that people have already solved this in physicals for hundreds of years, which is libraries. And they really come up with a category system that makes sense for organizing the information for you to be able to really have discoverability and browsing instead of just search.
Right.
And so in the case of Ticket to Ride, you would then know, if you'd be like, oh, I'm going to go play Ticket to Ride, maybe you walk over, it's sitting on the shelf, and it's sitting in a category next to other games that have to do with networks and routes, which is, it turns out, like an entire category. And
train
so,
games.
Yeah, there's a whole category of train games, and so you can come and work your way down from there to, maybe, what's the game with the River of Gold that you showed us? Yes. That was awesome. That would probably sit somewhere nearby, and so would on the hardcore end in the same group would be Hans Teutonica, which you might work up to over a couple of months.
Right. Or an 18XX, that 1830, these
which you don't expect the average person to have exposure to when you walk in, because it can be intimidating. To walk into an average board game store and you have maybe played Catan and a couple of things, you look up and you're like, where do I even start?
Exactly.
And so instead, what's your favorite worker placement game?
Lisboa,
which I haven't even played yet.
It's like a 4.63
okay,
on AGG.
Yep.
And
so it's hardcore.
Yeah.
But that's going to be over in the worker placement section, and then we're going to have these little, I got these crazy things made, which is these little things will be sitting on the shelf, and it'll say worker placement section, and you'll go to, 5, 10 worker placement, and they'll be down there, you'll find the game that you want, and then you might realize if you like that worker placement game and this is a genre that you're a fan of. The same way in movies we kind of know genres, we understand these are romantic comedies. If you're walking to a Blockbuster, if anyone knows what that is, then you would go to this romantic comedy section. You understand it. That's the basic idea.
Yeah.
And then inside of that, the kind of other way that people play or think about playing is the concept of how does this game play. So it is a worker placement game, or it is a network game, or it is a social deduction game.
Right.
These are all categories. But inside of that, there are games that feel heavy and light. There are games that feel
solo-ish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, things that feel very direct interaction. You said you don't like games that are mean. There's really direct games, and then there's indirect games. And so we did a little gameplay taxonomy underneath that, and I don't know if you could come look at this. So inside of this, you'll have a gameplay taxonomy that tries to capture what we consider the 5 main things about a game that help to describe what it might feel like to play, and then a specific gameplay description that actually, instead of describing that this is a game about trains, tries to explain what does it feel like to play this game. And so the combination of these things, it's not that I think everyone has to read all of these things. But the goal is like, this gets you easy browsability.
Mm-hmm.
This combined with the gameplay taxonomy gets you a situation where maybe after you've been coming a couple of times and we know what games you like to play, and you come back in with your husband and son and then 2 other people that are members, that maybe we can be like, oh, amongst these 5 people, what kind of games do these people like to play? And so what would be the great game that maybe none of you have played before that you all would like? And you can type in that information or talk to the person up front, like you, and they'll be like, oh, I have the game just for you. And then hopefully you found your new favorite game for the evening.
Absolutely. I love that. And so what does TLCS stand for?
TLCS stands for Tabletop. Maybe we should work on that acronym.
Yeah.
Tabletop Library Classification System.
Okay.
Based on the Dewey Decimal System.
I love it.
Yeah.
Super cool. Oh, well, thank you.
That's it.